Hey guys, it's Destiny, and today we're going to be discussing characters that I believe will synergize very well with Topaz and have potential to become stronger with what Topaz is able to provide for them. Also, before we begin, comment down below and tell me what your favorite color is and also why if you guys want to go a little more deeper into it. Mine personally is purple. If you guys enjoy videos like these, make sure to subscribe, leave a like if you guys want to increase your chances of pulling Topaz as well. The source is just the trust me, and without further ado, let's get straight into it. Other than having a super cute companion, Topaz is going to be great when it comes to follow-up attacks, follow-up-centric teams, and so on. The reason why Topaz will be good for these sort of characters is because of her unique ability Proof of Debt, which is able to be inflicted onto a single enemy and increase the amount of follow-up damage to that target. The good thing about this ability is since it's a debuff, your entire team can take advantage of this, which kind of makes Topaz a nihility hunt character in a way. A character that is a single target focus, but also can debuff the enemy with Proof of Debt, which really gives the enemy a run for their money, and they'll also have to deal with additional follow-up damage dealt to them as well. Plus, if you have other characters that can debuff on your team too, then you can inflict even more debuffs. This can be great for Topaz and Pela, Topaz Silverwolf, or even Topaz and Guinaifen combo, and so on. For those who have Silverwolf, I think this will actually allow for an amazing debuff combo since you can inflict Proof of Debt onto an enemy, and then also do single target debuffs onto enemies as well with Silverwolf, which allows you to heavily reduce the defenses and overall bulk of whatever enemy is inflicted with all the debuffs, which can allow Topaz to do more damage against enemies and also allies who are damage dealers, especially follow-up attackers, since they could take advantage of Topaz's debuff by quite a lot. This can make your follow-up attacker that you're heavily focused on building or have built, like Clara, Himeko, and so on, to do a considerable amount of additional damage with Topaz's debuffs onto an enemy. Putting the debuff on a big enemy on the field would be the best bet, as they usually have the most health and allow you to defeat them faster. Plus, Topaz takes advantage of follow-up attackers being on the team as well. Since Numby, which is the main source of damage from Topaz, and Numby being considered a follow-up attack, will be advanced forward when an ally hits an enemy that has Proof of Debt inflicted onto them, and the attack is also a follow-up attack. Follow-up attacks can be from Himeko, Clara, Jingyuan, Blade's follow-up attacks, Kafka's follow-up attack, Herta, and even for our whales, Bronya E4 does follow-up attacks as well. So there's a bunch of characters that allow for Topaz's kit to be taken advantage of in the way that Numby functions. Plus, Topaz's ultimate further buffs Numby with damage and crit damage bonuses, which allows Numby to do even more damage. Overall, Topaz looks sort of like a niche character, but she seems like she can definitely synergize very well when it comes to other follow-up attackers rather than the rest of our roster, since her debuff is primarily for more follow-up damage than anything else. As for the two main characters I wanted to discuss in today's video, it is Clara and our favorite pizza chef with her own pizza cutter, Himeko. I've seen a lot of people discuss these two, and for good reason. Clara and Himeko are characters who inflict follow-up attacks at a very consistent rate, which makes them amazing options to consider when it comes to Topaz, so that Numby can attack more often with the advance forward that happens with follow-up attacks. When it comes to Clara, when enemies have Sadarok's mark on them, they'll take increased damage from Clara's attacks. If you have E1, this is even better since the mark does not go away after a set amount of attacks, but if you don't have E1, that's fine too. Topaz can mark the enemy with Proof of Debt, which let's just say it's this annoying boss, and let's say Clara's mark is also on them. And then maybe you have a buffer or debuffer on the team, for example Tingyun, Guinaifen, Silver, whichever one you choose, and then Clara does even more damage to the main boss, and she can also do more damage to the minions on the field beside the boss with the other debuffing or buffing of the other ally on the team, which allows Clara to now have an amazing synergy with the rest of the team and also Topaz. By the way, do you guys think that Savarok or Clara would pet Numby? I feel like it'd be so cute to see Savarok just going down and petting Numby and cuddling with Numby as well. Since Clara is a huge follow-up damage-centric character, when she's hit by an enemy, she will initiate a follow-up attack on them, which will allow for follow-up attack consistency between her and Topaz. Numby can get advanced forward, do its own damage, and also Clara doing her own follow-up damage will be an amazing synergy in theory. Himeko can also take advantage of Topaz's kit, since Himeko is able to use follow-up attacks quite often, her condition isn't too difficult to trigger, and if you run Himeko alongside Topaz, you can consider Asta on the team for more speed, more attack, and the usage of this Lycone here, which is a Harmony Lycone that increases the damage dealt by allies of the same element as the user, which lets Asta always buff Topaz and Himeko's damage and also buff them with attack and speed as well, which will make for a very cool fire team. You can also build and use your other follow-up attackers with Topaz, but I personally think that Clara will be the best teammate just due to how Clara operates and how consistent and easy it is to trigger follow-up attacks with Clara. Clara is essentially doing a follow-up attack nearly at all times, so Clara and Topaz I feel like will be one of the best synergies once Topaz is here due to how Clara is. Lastly though, I wanted to go over team concepts for you guys and just brainstorming before Topaz is here what I think might work pretty well just for a full-blown team. For Clara's case, I feel like Clara with Topaz alongside either Asta, Silverwolf, Kayla, Guinaifen, Tingyun, and so on could be pretty good to try out. Alongside a sustain as well, this team should be really good on survivability and also damage. For a character I highly recommend when it comes to sustain on this team, I think Lynx would be an incredible option if you do have her. The reason why Lynx is really good is because Lynx is able to AoE cleanse the team, she's able to AoE heal the team, and she's also able to put more likelihood of being hit onto Clara with her skill. She puts survival response onto Clara, and now Clara will be able to follow up attack even more because she's getting hit more, or at least the likelihood of her getting hit is more there, which typically speaking will result in Clara now getting hit more, and as a result, Clara's lasers will go pew pew and the enemy is done for, especially if they have all those debuffs on them. When it comes to Himeko, I'm personally thinking Himeko, Topaz, Guinaifen could be an option for AoE debuffs plus consistent burns, and I think Asta will be amazing for buffing Topaz and Himeko as well. In most cases, you'll likely want to put Topaz with another follow-up attacker to take advantage of Topaz's kit, and also help the secondary follow-up attacker on the team alongside a buffer or debuffer and sustain. This should make for a general good team concept that has survivability, damage potential, and so on. I think the great thing about Topaz and Himeko in particular is that since Topaz is able to inflict proof of debt, and while it is only on one enemy, this can help Himeko deal more damage to that single target you do inflict them with. As we know, Himeko is able to AoE hit enemies, which is great. Being able to hard target the boss enemy on the field and allow Himeko to do more damage against them can be really good. And if you do decide to do a triple fire team, I would definitely recommend you use this team when it comes to fighting things that are fire weak, just so you have the most advantage when it comes to that, of course. And if you aren't the biggest fan of Topaz and Himeko, another suggestion I can have is possibly Guinaifen and Himeko instead. Guinaifen's able to do AoE burns and also an AoE debuff onto enemies, and this debuff makes them take more damage, so Guinaifen also can be an awesome option. So I feel like Himeko is about to get much needed love. I'm super excited for that. I think this will be awesome for her, especially as well alongside Clara too, since Clara and Topaz, I could see the synergy being awesome. That'll be all though for my thoughts on Topaz and what she could possibly provide for our current follow-up attackers. I know I primarily talked about Himeko and Clara. I have seen that they've been mostly discussed recently as to, okay, will Topaz benefit them? And I think I gave you guys my thorough opinion on that, whether or not I personally think if it'll be a benefit. I definitely think they will be. I think Topaz can also synergize well with our other follow-up attackers, of course. How good she synergizes with them and how good she'll be able to provide that additional support for them in her kit. I think that Clara will be able to get the most benefit, and then possibly Himeko secondary. That's just what I'm personally thinking regarding Topaz at least. And I think Guinaifen will be able to do a lot of things as well for team comps. But I will be discussing Topaz and also Guinaifen this week and next week. And I'd love to know, what do you guys think about Topaz and her possible potential with other follow-up attackers? What synergies are you guys going to attempt with Topaz? What do you guys think will be really good that I didn't either not mention in the video, or if you do agree with the stuff I mentioned as well, just let me know. I hope you all enjoyed this video though, and if you did, make sure to subscribe, leave a like to support the video, and I hope you all have a great one like always. Peace.